Hey everybody, it's me, Adam Chapnick. Welcome back to the Security Token Academy. I'm excited to be joined today by Louis Adimando of the Praetorian Group. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Adam.
All right, so you are doing a lot of interesting things. You're kind of doing two huge things rolled into one.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Well, when we play, we like to play big. So, we have a two-phase project right now. The first phase of our project is a real estate play. So similar to a REIT, we're going to buy a portfolio of real estate, both residential real property and commercial. The portfolio will look about 80-20 residential to commercial and pay a dividend off of that to our investors. So that's our first phase. We plan on getting through all of that in about 12 months, building out the portfolio. It should be valued at about $600 million after the first 12 months, that portfolio. Phase two, which is called phase two, but it's a concurrent project, is to build out a debit network.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a REIT meeting Visa. On the real deal nerd level.
Yes, please. You know your customer here.
I like to think of our token as a new way to look at money, generally.
Okay.
For the longest time, money just was being represented by, let's say, a piece of paper.
Yes.
And that equaled a value. But you never got paid for holding it. The only time you did for a little bit was when banks actually paid you interest on your savings. But that doesn't exist in this world anymore.
Right.
Our company wants to bring that back. So our play is a money play, right? A currency or a store of value play. But you could look at us as a security token chasing the REIT market and the Visa market.
Wow. Okay. So when we talk about security tokens, there's a whole sort of expertise that's needed to kind of even go down that road.
Sure.
We talk about real estate. There's a whole other kind of expertise.
Sure.
Talk about debit, a whole other thing.
Sure.
So what's your background and what's your team like?
So I'm one of the co-founders. My other co-founder, we're both lawyers.
Okay.
So that's a start,
There you
right?
go.
So we understand the regulatory environment. I worked in financial services for about 8 years. I worked at JP Morgan, Credit Suisse, and most recently at Bank of Montreal before coming aboard full-time with the Praetorian Group. My partner has been a real estate attorney for, I think it's 20 years now. He's been doing real estate transactions and corporate work.
Okay.
So the real estate play, we understand. The merchant servicing side is a complex business, but we're looking to simplify it. We do have some advisors who have set up merchant services networks, have relationships with some of the bigger names and bigger networks, so that's exciting. And on the crypto side, I've been in the crypto since about the tail end of 2012, early 2013. I was introduced to the Bitcoin white paper first, and then just dove into it and just kept reading and reading and reading. Totally in love with crypto and the possibilities.
Oh, great.
And to me, securitizing assets and into tokens and creating this massive amount of liquidity in markets that were traditionally illiquid is such an exciting proposition, not only for the people participating in the token economy, but for the holders of this illiquid asset, for them to be able to liquefy it and see money off of their assets is just a real, it's a new world and really exciting world.
So let's take one piece at a time. So on the real estate side, is there any particular thesis or plan for what goes in and what doesn't?
Yep. So I've developed what we call the reverse L strategy.
The reverse L.
The reverse
I like
L
it.
strategy.
Sounds
Well,
like a
my name
football
is Louis, right? So
nice.
we got the L, so it's the reverse L.
All right.
We're going to start in the New York City 5 boroughs area.
Okay.
Move down the eastern seaboard, up until the top part of Florida and across into Texas. We've identified a lot of communities there that are undervalued and that we would really be able to help with our investment. And that is really the core of our company when it comes to the real estate play. When myself and my co-founder Gerard sat down to think about this company, the first principle that we decided on was we have to help people, whatever we do. We're what I would call two street guys, right? We come from humble beginnings, blue-collar families, the first in family history to graduate college and law school type backgrounds, right?
Congratulations, that's great.
Thank you. Very humble beginnings for us, and we want to be able to take this exciting new technology and bring it to people who would never be touched by it, otherwise. Improve the buildings that they live in, improve their communities by bringing maybe vocational training or drug abuse centers, whatever we can do to help the community. That's the core foundational principle of our company. So we built our strategy around that principle.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So drug abuse centers, and that would be part of the commercial
Absolutely.
real estate, or
Not,
is that
not really the
separate
commercial side.
to-
It would be more the residential side.
Oh, the residential side.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why we're doing the residential play is, in the new world, the Amazonization of the world, you can't depend on brick and mortar anymore to support a portfolio, unless you have anchor tenants. So if you have Amazon as a tenant, you're pretty good. If you have IBM as a tenant, you'll be all right. But mom and pop shops, while they might have a good net profit, they might not exist. That storefront might not be able to be rented in time. But you always need a roof over your head. You'll always have tenants in a residential building for the most part. And what we're seeing now is a sort of a revitalization of communities, starting in New York, down the seaboard again, that lost value because of manufacturing going overseas. Well, a lot of that manufacturing is coming back because the technological advances allow for U.S. workers to compete with foreign workers, where there was a kind of a dynamic where we couldn't. Also, the new government is making it easier for people to manufacture here, right? So these old school manufacturing communities whose real estate values dropped dramatically due to people moving overseas to manufacture are actually seeing an upswing. So we're going to catch that upswing, really grow our portfolio to, we'd like to let it hit $1 billion within the first 3 years.
Who wouldn't?
Right, exactly. But at the same time, really help these communities because they've been ignored.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Why not let crypto be the vehicle to restore, this country?
I love it, and obviously in our world, in this crypto world, there's a lot of endeavors that have that component, and we love being a part of that. I personally love that. So good for you for doing that. Now, when you said let's let crypto be sort of the engine for helping people, let's just say. Can you walk us through how crypto will be a part of like Main Street's experience of this?
Sure. So, a lot of the people that I envision being tenants in our buildings probably either have very small savings accounts, no retirement accounts at all. That's really the community that I see helping. So they'll have their PAX card, our debit card, and they'll be receiving dividends just for holding a PAX token. So right away they have a vehicle to create more wealth.
And so, sorry to interrupt, but
No,
is the
please.
PAX token, it's a share of of your REIT or
So the way we're doing it is it's a securitized dividend stream.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So you don't get an ownership in the company, but you get an ownership in the net profit from the company.
Great.
So it cuts out all the the voting nonsense and receiving proxies and not filling it out and all that stuff. But our tenants will be able to spend their crypto easily, go to the corner store and spend it. But to me, the most important piece is the actual creation of wealth, new wealth. You can store your value. Let's say you get paid in dollars. You buy more PAX token, hold it in your wallet. The more PAX token you own, the more your dividend will be. And you're creating wealth over generations. If you hold dollars, you're not receiving that wealth. You're actually losing money for holding dollars. So helping people understand how to save and create wealth and maybe go out and buy their own building or, approach us and say, hey, we want to be a partner, There's a lot of opportunity there, and we're really excited to be able to help these people. Amazing.
Okay, so just to dig onto that, so I am, did you say unbanked or just the sort of the...
Well, that's the kind of catchphrase, exciting term that this industry likes to use. Unbanked, unbanked, underbanked.
Underbanked, okay, yeah,
whatever.
Either way. Okay, so I got my paycheck, or I got my money, and I put some of whatever into my PAX tokens. It's throwing off its dividend, or not, or hopefully it is. And so then how will I go? You said you can go down to the corner store and spend it. How will I do that?
So our network will allow for you to just, anywhere that accepts a credit card or debit card, you'll be able to go spend it. The merchant doesn't have to receive crypto. They can choose to. If they're excited about crypto as we are, they probably want to receive it, right? But they don't have to. The exchange will happen in the background. So you won't even know really that you're spending crypto. It'll be like spending $1. That's how seamless we're going to make the transaction on both ends, for the merchant and for the user.
That is really interesting. I haven't heard somebody kind of putting it end to end like that yet. That's great. So you said you have someone on your team that's got the experience in that sort of the banking side, the automated payments, or what do we call that?
So I call it merchant servicing.
Merchant services,
I guess.
Thank you. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we do have someone who has set up many networks in the past.
That's terrific.
Merchant servicing networks. While it's not an ex-Visa employee per se, but he understands the business that we need to at the grassroots level. I'll put it that way, and that's more important to us because I think as any startup knows, you need people who have hit the streets before. You don't need the CEO, the former CEO of XYZ company. It might make it easier to raise money having the former CEO, but to actually set up and do the work, you need a guy that's hit the pavement before. So, we tend to have that, I keep using the term, but street mentality of like, all right, what have you done before? Not, what company have you run before?
That's great. So, we're here with the Security Token Academy. We're talking about security tokens. What's the structure with regard to security token that you guys have?
From a legal perspective, the way we set it up is similar to a preferred share.
Okay.
After many rounds between ourselves as attorneys and our securities counsel, we just decided to structure it in a way that the SEC would understand.
That's great.
They understand what a preferred share is, right? So it'll be treated just like any other preferred stock that you might buy, through NASDAQ or whatever exchange. And that'll be fine. Let them approve that. We're not trying to pull any tricks or anything. They understand this product, so let's give them this product. On the back end, you'll be using and trading and spending this cryptocurrency like a cryptocurrency. Part of the last panel who had the former SEC chair on it, what he was saying is he doesn't foresee new rules coming out for the space. So that's how we decided months ago we were going to approach it. We need to fit this round peg into the square hole. How are we going to do that? So we kind of bifurcated the idea of what a token is and what a security is, and we said, okay, it fits this, which is a preferred share, so we're going to call it a preferred share. We're going to treat it like a preferred share. But to the crypto enthusiasts, they'll understand our token as a cryptocurrency. So you have to get creative. And I think I was talking to someone outside. I think that's what a lot of the industry is lacking today, believe it or not. There's a lot of creativity around building blockchains. There's a lot of creativity around funding companies through ICOs, but there's very little creativity around, well, what is this and what can we call it? So I blame the lawyers. As a lawyer, I can do that. Lawyers need to get a little more creative when they're creating what it is for their clients from a product perspective, because we're going to have to fit these very round pegs into very square holes.
I love it. So where do you hope you'll be a year from now with the Praetorian Group?
Sure. I hope that we'll have our portfolio built. We will have obviously been deemed effective by the SEC through our S1 filing. We'll have raised our money. We'll have built our real estate portfolio, and we'll be beta testing our first networks on the debit side. Our tenants will be very happy with living in our buildings. Solar, we're going to retrofit a lot of our buildings with solar, water purification, high-speed internet. We have some people that we're talking to that are trying to build premium internet service on the blockchain, so high-speed internet. Through net neutrality rules changing, they're able to do this, so we might partner with them and be able to implement this in our buildings or for our users, or maybe get a special discount using the PAX token. There's a lot of exciting stuff we're going to do. So a year from now, hopefully I'll be sitting here with you talking about it. But I think a year from now, the company will be a very well-known and very recognized force in the cryptocurrency space.
Well, it's going to be a busy 12 months.
Yeah.
So thanks for telling us all about it, and definitely do come back and share it with us next year.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Louis. All right, take care.